Hello, this is Janine Marie. I'm so glad that you're here. This message is going to be on being rooted and grounded in love, specifically in relationship. And what else is there, right? So I'd like you to stick with me and bear with me, please, because I'm going through some transition. I'm being rooted and grounded into my love of my business. I'll talk to you in just a moment. And here we go. Are you ready for this? We are looking at, if you're looking at your screen right now, two trees that are standing together and their roots are going deep into the ground. And I'm not sure you'll be able to see this part in the video, but the vision of the trees, the way I had AI create it, is that each tree has their separate root system, but in the middle, there is one system of roots that intertwine together, and they're strong. They're a little bit thicker. They go down into the ground, and they join together. These are two trees that are strong. They are anchored, which means securely fastened, fixed in place, or firmly attached to a solid base to prevent movement. Now, what does this mean for us when we're talking about relationship, about love, about security and stability? Number one, we have physical security, right? We have somebody that is always there. When our love is rooted and grounded together with somebody in relationship, we have that physical security that keeps one another stable, and it not necessarily means one is stronger than the other or they're both really, really strong. It means each individual has their specific strengths that they can add to the relationship. So, where one person might have physical strength, the other may not, and the other person may have emotional strength and the other may not. But they accent one another and they accentuate each other. And it's like a dance. When you get into this rhythm of two people together, just picture in your mind's eye the wind blowing through the trees, and the trees go through this beautiful dance, like a rhythm together. But they're so anchored physically, emotionally, and in every single way. They have stability financially, they have stability with their strength, they have each other's back, right? So all you see is the sway. And the sway is easy. Like I said, it's like a dance. When things are going really well, when you are rooted and anchored in love with another person, and it is a duality, you have the perfect picture of what God has presented to us for the purpose of love. And that is to join together in power, because love is a power and an action word. So you join together in purpose, right? You don't just love. Love is not a noun. Love, when you think in the context of God, I guess you can think of love as a noun, but God is active in our life. God is inside of us in our life. So God is always moving. And sometimes I used to think when I was in church, where is he going? Pardon the pronoun, but, I usually don't talk about God in gender, but that was then, right? And so we wondered, where's he going? Where's God going? But God is always moving because we are always moving. We're never stagnant. There is always thought. There's always consciousness. Even when you think that you're not moving, you are. You are creating in your mind, you're creating in your spirit, you're creating in love, because you have to love something to create it. And in order to see it fulfilled, you have to love it all the way to fruition, which means action. And when you take that together and put it along with the context of relationship, that love, specific love, when it's rooted and grounded, it has like a duality where you bounce off of each other. You become a part of one another's, I want to say soul tie. Soul ties are not always a bad thing. Soul ties are a good thing. I believe that the image of the roots growing together is like a soul tie. It can create stability and it can create strength between the couple that have love. So, the idea in the Bible for love being rooted and grounded is spoken of as the love specifically that we have that is Christed. But I want to put it in the context of relationship because we need that stability. We need to understand that relationships are not meant to be unpurposeful, if that's a word. They're meant to have purpose. And without purpose, it's like something doesn't gel right, There are occasions when people will bind together. They'll try to intertwine their roots, but their purpose just doesn't seem to match. And, they eventually, what I see, what I feel, what I sense, and what I've experienced is they pull apart. The roots begin to untwine because they don't have the same place where they want to take their nourishment, if that makes sense. If you take a set of roots and put them in one section where this is the purpose of one person, and then, the other has a set of roots that has a purpose that is different, they're going to want to plant those roots in a place where that purpose is going to be nourished, and grow. So they might find themselves in different places, physically on the earth, or separating into different places. But it also works in the opposite direction, in the opposite way. When two people are meant to be active in the same purpose, and they feel that sense of synchronicity between one another, and they know, things may not gel together right away. Those roots might not be intertwining right away, but lo and behold, you will discover eventually your meeting is never, ever, ever an accident. Never. Never. There are no accidents in this world. There are only, I want to say, divinely orchestrated coincidences, if that is a good way to put it. But we know when we see, feel, touch, talk to, connect with, spiritually bind with, feel the energy of another person that has the same sense of purpose and the same purpose. So their roots are starting to plant and grow into one area where their tree is going to be flourished. And so the other person comes along and they're like, oh, I have the same purpose and I feel the same draw into that purpose. And there's something about you that I can't explain, but I know that I know that I know that you belong to me somehow, in some respect. And that's evidenced, by the roots growing deep right into the same area. You want to feed on the nourishment that's going to feed your purpose. It goes up the trunk of the tree and it starts to blossom into the tree's leaves that end up blowing in the wind, and it gets scattered everywhere. It pollinates, it duplicates. It is a powerful process. And when you come together with that particular person that has that purpose and your roots begin to bind together and you have that intention, so you make that intention inside of your mind and it becomes a solid tie. And you begin to function with maybe a broader aspect of that purpose because two together become powerful. It's biblical, it's spiritual, it's godly, it's all the way around. One operating in their purpose, they might move some mountains, okay? Two, coming together, feeding and operating in their purpose. They're moving mountains, but they're also creating more energy towards the purpose that each of them have. So, they may say, mountain be removed, and that mountain will fall down because Jesus said we could do this. So I totally believe we can. We can move any mountain out of our way. And so, especially for a purpose, if we've got that energy toward the purpose, but we can really climb that mountain. We can get over to the other side. We can move it. We can create a new one. We can create an energy from other people toward that purpose. Because we have that passion, people will recognize the passion without even having to say a lot about it. Because when you're intertwined in relationship, and it is that synchronistic, perfect love relationship that you are meant to be with. And I don't mean perfect, that life will be perfect, because it never ever is. There are always hurdles. There are always teaching points, right? But when you come together and you are swaying in the same direction and you are fielding the storms together and you feel the gentle breezes together, you get into that flow, you get into that place where you know that you are anchored and this is your foundation, and that you're going to draw stability and nourishment from the identity that you've been given through that soul tie and through the Christed one. So, I know this sounds kind of almost like dreamlike. Is this real? I mean, can this happen? Yes, but there is a time and a place for all things under heaven. There is a time and a season for all things under heaven. So, not to quote the Bible, there we go, Bible quoting. But heaven rains down certain attributes for us and strength for us and help for us. And when I say rain down, it is a command to support us. And these things are all within the plan, God's plan for our lives. And it may not come to complete fruition the way we think it will in this lifetime, but other lifetimes, it might just do that. And in lifetimes, prior, it might have just done that, or it might have begun to do that. So you need to really play it out. It's very, very hard to describe the love that's felt for another person when you share the same passion and purpose. There is a love that goes beyond human romance, okay? It's not such a romantic love. It is a purposeful love that's been ordained by God. It is a love that is agape love that is there whether you're present with the person or not. You can feel it across the other side of the world, across the country, across roads, oceans, wherever that other person happens to be, that love is there. And once that connection is made, once that soul tie is recognized, that love will never, ever, ever go away, because God's agape love is eternal. It is forever. It is something we recognize. It's something we suck in and soak into our soul. And you will feel it like no other. So, you know what? This is what I want to present to you. Trust it. If you're not at that place where you're two trees standing together in harmony, making and creating that anchored and rooted love and drawing from the same nutrients for the same purpose, if you're not in that place, it is okay. It is okay. Rest, my dear, in the timing. My darling, don't fret, because you will get there in the right time, in the right season, in the right place, for the right purpose. And when you do, you will know that you know. That's all I can say. You just recognize it. And, you know, there's a real purpose that I'm doing this specific message. It just kind of came to me because I'm kind of swaying toward relationship, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And I think this is a part of divine orchestrated relationship that I really felt like I needed to talk about. It's not just an overnight thing. It's not just something that's very casual. It's very purposeful. It's very important. And it's something that you would literally lay down your life for. And that's how you know. And you're so intertwined with the other person that you will literally feel like you could lay down your life for that person. There is such a love that is inexplainable. I don't think that I can really put it into words. So anyway, seek to be rooted and grounded. That is my first word of advice. Even if you don't have that specific connection, if that connection does not happen in this lifetime, even if you see the possibility of that connection, but it's not gelling together right now, make sure that you have the foundations and you are rooted and grounded in love and in purpose, and you're drawing the nutrients that you need to let your roots go deep so that when the storms come, you are practiced and you are ready. There is nothing that's going to shake your tree so much that your purpose will be shaken from you or the planet. So anyway, I hope that you bear fruit with this. I hope that the foundation empowers you. I hope that you will withstand any trials that come up into your life. And if for any reason you feel like you're looking downward, like you're struggling inside, I want you to know something. You're in good company. There are a lot of people who go through the same thing. And I know sometimes that is not really comforting. But just know this too shall pass. And there is a time and a season for all things under heaven. And this season, whatever one you are going through, it will transition to a new one way or another. Until then, I just want to tell you I am loving you from here, and hopefully I'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.